Yeah, Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Wednesday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. I hope everybody had a phenomenal trading day yesterday as we saw a little bit of market movement after some breakout to the upside, although we have pulled back a little bit from those breakouts. So we're going to head and go through the markets today and take a look at the different areas and opportunities that are available in today's market. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts and the updates. And then if you are a regular viewer, leave a comment down below. What's your plan on trading for the Friday after Thanksgiving? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are for the Friday after Thanksgiving. I will say this is the last DMC we're going to do this week. I'm going to take tomorrow is the U.S. markets are closed tomorrow, and then Friday's a half day. But I'm going to take the day off. And so there will not be a daily market commentary on Friday, so it's going to be an almost daily market commentary. So we're going to take that day off, and we will be back ready to roll with the DMC on Monday and our live trading room Sunday night. So okay, I had a quick question around how do I utilize the website to learn more about options. So I want to cover that for us in a little while, but I'm going to go through the equity markets first, and then I'll review that for you. So. Yeah, futures do close early today. So there's not today is not going to be, today's another great day just, to take the full day, right? There's nothing wrong with that as well. And so looking at the ES today, yesterday we had our breakout. Breakout trade hit, gave us price all the way up to where we thought would make for a pretty good target. We actually then based below the other potential breakout and then popped just close to the all-time high without quite getting to the new all-time high. So that worked out to be a really good run. And so that really good run that we had on the S&P could continue through the early part of today. We've had a pretty nice pullback. This trend is a bit overextended, so we've had a pretty nice pullback, and we've come back into this area here, right? Old resistance oftentimes acts as new support. So looking this morning at price heading back up, I would actually look to see if we get back above this pivot high right here. If we're able to get above this pivot high on the 15-minute chart, I think you may see price run. And it could be a decent little move this morning for price to get, like I said, and I think I said this earlier this week, I wouldn't be surprised to see us get to an all-time high by the end of the week. And really, we came pretty close to it yesterday. I don't know that we're going to get there today, but we may get a little run up from this area. It's not the best of levels. I will say it's not a clean level per se. So you're looking at your stop just below your entry in that point. A better actual level on a 15-minute chart would be this area down here. You got 3609 by 3609.5 by 3604.6. 0.5. Call it 3609.5 by 3604.5. So about a 5-point zone right in there, I think, makes the most sense. All right, next would be the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ yesterday did give us a breakout trade, but it did not give us the basing for the breakout trade quite properly, although some people did take that breakout trade and made a little bit of coin on it, which is good. If you missed the breakout, it actually did give you a bit of a retest right after, right here, into this little wick over wick. So now what I would look at from a wick over wick perspective would be this area right here for the next pullback and reversal if price does indeed come back. Now remember, this one is still a bit below its all-time high. It's got some room to go before it reaches that all-time high, and I think it definitely can get significantly higher than that. Looking at the Russell yesterday, we had this area right here as our wick over wick area of demand for price to give us that best opportunity. Unfortunately, didn't quite come close back to that level. So to me, the level is still very valid. I really like that level, actually, that 1808, as a good reversal point if price does indeed come back. We're down a little bit this morning, close to flat. And so I'm not really going to take anything in between here and there. I'm just going to let that one be. And then last but certainly not least is the Dow Jones. And in the Dow, we We poked above the Dow high, pulled back, gave you an entry on a pullback, and then got to 30,165 before then pulling back again. I think that 30,000 number was one of those ones that we had to clear, and we did clear through that number to wipe out all those sell orders that are in there. And so now I think you've got the opportunity for price to continue to move up, really kind of unabated. And so I would say that if I'm looking at, just this 4-hour price action, this is actually a really nice potential candle to candle long opportunity on the 4-hour if you're looking more of a swing trade. Now, the downside of looking at a swing trade is we're going to have markets that are closed. And so I'm not going to want to hold these over closed markets where there's gapping possibilities. But I can see this being the point where we reverse and start to head back up in this market. So those would be the areas that I am looking at for today inside of our main equity markets. So let me go ahead and share this real quick. Okay. Oops, wrong button. All right, so I want to take a look real quick at commodities. And before I dive into commodities real quick, I did have a question from somebody who's watching who asked, how do I access the options? I want to learn more about options. How do I access the options stuff on the website? So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Go to Traders Army to access the options material. You are go underneath Learn, and here's where you'll find the on-demand courses. And if you want to learn more about options, it starts with the Options Foundations course. Those are in there, followed by the Strategic Options Trading. So those would be the two courses that would make the most sense if you want to start and learn more about options. If you click under the button that says Trading Courses Guide, you'll actually see all of the available courses that we have on the website. Here are all the ones that are available for free members. You do have to be a pro member to access the options, the Trading Foundations, the Advanced Price Study, and the Wealth Essentials. But we put them in order as to how to access each one of those classes. And frankly, even if you have no options in the beginning, we start very, very basic. What is an option anyway? And so that's how you access all of that information. Now, so hopefully that answers your question. If you have any more, please send me an email, and we'll gladly get that over to you. Real quick, for those of you that are not Traders Army members, if you're interested in becoming a Traders Army member, if you go to tradersarmy.com, we have Black Friday deals that we are just about to we're rolling out. So if you're interested in learning more, go to the website, go to tradersarmy.com. You'll get some really good deals. And even if you are a member and you want to take one of our intensives or our active trading intensives or our reinforcements classes, you can do that there. So use promo code Black Friday to get your membership discounts on there. And then if you want to take one of these advanced courses, there's no code necessary. We just discounted all of them 40%. So if you guys have any questions, please send me an email. All right. So let me pop over real quick to our next energies and metals. Oh, Liz is talking about the 4-hour candle on the YM looking bearish. It closed on the low of the candle. Let me go back to that, Liz, and take a quick look. Interesting. On TradeStation, it looks very bearish, yet on Thinkorswim, it looks very very doji-ish, and so we'll have to see where it goes from here. Remember, the current candle we're in now only has another 50 minutes in it before it's going to close out. So, wonder why there's the difference. Oh, that could be it. All right, next, energies and metals. So yesterday, crude oil. So those of you that were here with us yesterday, hopefully you were able to catch the crude oil breakout. That crude oil breakout was a really, really good trade. And it fit everything that we do from breakout trade perspective as it popped around and rallied up out of that zone really, really nicely. And this is, following a strict set of rules around breakouts. So hopefully you're able to catch that one, pull a little bit of coin in. Let's remove that line at this point because we certainly can't use it again. And so Looking at our next level, I would look to this area right here, which is obviously the origin of that move from the breakout. So it's a retest of that area. We do still have our supply level up above us. Now, on a 4-hour chart, we don't really see where that supply stems from. We got to go back further in time to see really where that supply stems from. And I can go back to an hourly chart on the 360, going back a year essentially. And we have this rally base drop as our first level in the hourly chart that we have that zone wrapped around. And that's a pretty clean area there at 46.38. Now, it's a confirmation entry because we're in an upward trend on the 4-hour chart, but that's a fairly clean level. Now, not formed at the greatest time of day, so I wouldn't be shocked to see us actually have an opportunity at this wick over wick here, which might be a bit better. Now, beyond that, though, all these other areas of supply, none of those are super clean, which is why our next level is this one up here, which I really like a lot better. 49.37 by 49.58. Now, by the way, we're going back in time to see that level, and that's a completely different contract. So the question is, are enough people going to be looking at that same level, stitching together those same contracts? But my point behind all of that is there's a lot of room to run. There's a lot of room for oil to continue to go higher, and getting long on a pullback seems to be the way to go. It seems to be the better way to go is to get long on a pullback when oil comes back into a decent area of demand. And so this, I think, is our best one that we have on the chart. These other ones down here, I'm going to remove these for now just because it's a bit of noise that's unnecessary because we're very far away from there at this point. Might we get another breakout trade? Sure, we could possibly get another breakout trade above here, provided that we get basing. But we're 2 touches away from that becoming a reality. They do a little bit. They do a little bit, Dennis. I think that there is that feeling that the economy is gonna rally. I don't know that it will, but once again, I said a long time ago that I believe that the vaccine is priced in, and we'll see what happens to the markets after the vaccine comes out. Now, here was our gold position yesterday. And we talked yesterday about the fact that if you wanted to take this gold trade, it was a confirmation entry. You did get a decent move away from it before the rollover. So ideally, you're not still riding this thing up on that contract rollover, but I do still need to pay attention to the fact that it is in there. The gap level itself, gap from the contract rollover, has already been filled. Price came back and filled the gap of the contract rollover and rallied up. The supply level up above us that we have here, I don't like the fact that we're basing in front of it. So I need to remove that level. And I'm going to look to this area up here at 1863. That's going to be my best level and the best opportunity. Okay? I think that's going to be the one where I would look for the best trade. So now, can I make money on the way up to there? Sure you can. But I don't know that I would take a breakout above here because of this supply. But this supply is not good enough for me to go short, right? So I've got to change what I'm doing in that case. Yeah, that's the GCG21. Yep, we're on the G21. Paul. Good to see you today, Paul. Good to have you in the room, man. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Nat gas. So Nat gas yesterday, we did not look at any levels. Interesting. Yeah, that they. I'm not sure if they had rolled on nat gas either. So nat gas obviously gapped above that area of supply. I'm going to put a level here at the gap fill area, although I haven't seen as many gap fill levels be as effective. But nat gas could be one that does get pretty effective. I didn't even look at this one as the rollover yesterday occurred. And so now I'm just going to still wait on some of my other levels and areas. I still think this is the best one up here, this area of supply. If you just look at the G21, or the F21, excuse me, without the gap, you'll see that we are sitting at an area that could make for a decent breakout. So if you just look at the F21, you've got this 2.916. And I think that that is where you would look for the best breakout if you just trade the contract specific on here. All right. And then next, copper. So copper also gapped up, pulled back to the gap fill area on the rollover gap. Rollover gaps are the ones that I think work the best when we talk about gap fills. Um, if I'm looking at this one, I think the better chances that prices are going to continue to rally. And so with that continuous rallying of pricing, our momentum is definitely slowing. Yeah, we're seeing it definitely show some slowing of momentum in here, right? With this and this. And so, as much as I feel like, okay, the momentum is slowing, everything's telling me that there's a chance we're going to roll over. We haven't done it as of yet, and so I would need basing to get me an opportunity to get short, and that's just not there as of yet. When it comes to demand, I don't want to be chasing an area, but if we got quality basing for a breakout, I think that would be the best way to take that trade. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share. Oops, I'm going to share this grid. In the trade feed. So let's move over to ags. And we did yesterday, unfortunately, in soy, and we put this out in the trade update. We got another entry back into the level. Jersey Trader, we look at it when you ask us to. I don't do it as a standard, but if somebody asks me to, I will. So give me a couple minutes to get there. So soy yesterday, we had put out in the trade feed that soy had moved about 1 from our confirmation from supply, and it was now to be very judicious with your stops and move your stop to break even if you were so inclined, because I wasn't feeling that move because we came out of it, came back into it, and then it just kind of stalled. And so now you can see that stall a bit better on the 15-minute. It came into it, popped into it, we closed here, came right down to here, and then I saw those 3 buying wicks, and I thought, that's never a good sign. When you get into a supply zone trade and you see 3 buying wicks immediately after, it's never a good sign. So in the trade update, our recommendation was, okay, you need to move that stop to be very judicious and move that stop as quickly as possible. And that was really kind of the rollover effect, is that price just started to say, hey, you know what, that bearish idea you were thinking? No, it's not going to happen. And so now, in reality, price hasn't really done a whole lot since yesterday. And so I think your best trade is a breakout above here. But in reality, I just think this is not a great trading vehicle today. Corn was very much the same as we came up into it. Now it has the gap fill area on the rollover gap. So keep an eye on the rollover gap here as well in corn. Same thing with wheat. Mind the gap. So, and I don't know about you guys, but I like rollover gaps. I tend to find that they're pretty they're pretty reliable. Now, look at bean oil. Check out this bean oil setup. So bean oil, we got the same kind of setup here where price came in, moved away, and then it kind of stalled out. Now, we then went to our limit entry and got a good move on that limit entry. So price then moved away from that zone really well. Now, obviously, that includes the rollover gap at that point. So now, in looking at it, I will tell you, I don't think that we're going to make it back up to here, but that is a picture-perfect wick over wick area that I love to see. We're not going to get there today. And on the 4-hour, this is strong move down. Okay? So I would see this is a big one. Yeah, John, the differences in the TradeStation and Thinkorswim rollover can drive people bonkers, I know. I've just found that the way Thinkorswim uses them, that they're significantly more accurate when it comes to what the rest of the world is probably using. That's kind of the better way to put it. So, all right, let me share this one. All right. Next would be bonds and currencies. So looking at our bonds and currency markets. So here's an interesting one. Yesterday we had our gap down in the 10-year note off of the rollover, and then immediately it traded up into the area that was the area of demand acting as supply. Now, do I necessarily think that there's a lot of orders that were left over as buy orders that then became sell orders? No. But do I think that maybe there's a lot of computer algorithms and traders that all use the same technical analysis books that say, okay, old support became new resistance. So once we gap down, I'm gonna put my sell order in where all those buy orders were, right? And that's really why it works. It works because it's more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And there's enough traders that are utilizing the same analysis techniques in order for it to be viable. What do I think about Ninja? Well, first of all, I think ninjas are amazing. I love all ninjas. But as far as Ninja Trader, I don't know enough about it to really give you a comment, Dion. I've never used it, but the word ninja is one of the coolest ones ever. That's what I wanted to be growing up as a kid. Then I realized I'm tall and clumsy, so I won't be a good ninja. Yeah, I've heard a little bit of both, Dennis. I've heard that it's really, really good and really powerful, and then I've heard other people who say it's a little bit too clunky. Well, Dwight is definitely he's a ninja. He's Dwight. You know, get ready because he's going to bring the hurricane. And then our currency markets, we didn't really have anything added to our markets yesterday for crude oil or for the Canadian dollar, or the euro. And I'm kind of glad I didn't. We did get a little move in there, but when we look at the hourly chart, yesterday we were looking at it at about, and price was right about here. And today we're up a little bit, but we didn't really get any strong reversal trades. And even had we been thinking, well, we got a decent reversal here, we'd have been stopped out on that position anyway. So we didn't have anything added to our charts, and I'm not going to add anything today either. Okay. Same thing in the same thing with the Canadian dollar. I will say that you could get a breakout above that whole round 0.77 number in the Canadian dollar, so that's at least worth considering. But other than that, there's nothing in here that I like in the Canadian dollar either. So nothing that I'm in love with. It's going to drive me. Bob Dunn is a cheetah. Yes, he does. He does have his cheetah mentality. I haven't heard anything from Bob in a while. Bob was just tweeting way more than I could handle, so I actually turned off Bob's tweets. Not for anything against Bob, I would just like to add, only because I just couldn't keep up with all of his tweets. So I haven't heard anything from him in a long time because I don't have him on my Twitter feed any longer. Let's probably catch up with him. Oh, he is? I did not know. I'm not sure. I have a hard time knowing who is still with OTA and who is not. So yeah, it was tweeting so much that it was 3/4 of my feed, and I don't follow very many people, so I just turned it off. Not that I don't love Bob, but I got my own ideas. All right. So a little bit of sideways through here, where I think we could get some basing on there. And I think that if we get a breakout above here, there could be a good move higher. There is this area of supply where you're going to have to be concerned with. So I don't know that I would take the breakout above there because of that area of supply. Dion, I was there, was it 9 years, something like that? A long time. Long time. Let's see. You know, I'm going much further out to look at this thing. And when I go much further out, one of the things that I see is that is that the better opportunity is still this area of demand down below. I think that when I go out to the weekly, you will find that the better levels come into play as we get higher. And so I'd want to still be buying pullbacks to areas of demand. Oh, Larry, I'm glad you liked him, man. That was kind of my swan song. That was literally the last thing I did for the company, and after that, traveling just got too much on the family and decided to stay home. So, Great British Pound. I'm just not seeing any. Is anybody else seeing that the currencies just look like pretty much rubbish today? I mean, I'm not. Hopefully, I'm not alone in that opinion, but I just don't see a lot in the currencies today that are worth looking at. I don't see a whole lot in here that are worth looking at. Japanese yen, we broke through the supply, the breakout, but we didn't have any basing in front of the breakout to make it worthwhile. And so, the 15-minute level here, we came close to it, so I've got to switch it to a confirmation. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot in here right there. Now, the Australian dollar came up to our supply area, gave us what would have been an entry if we were trading the limit entry, but we were not. We were trading the confirmation entry. And so, since we're trading the confirmation on that, and the reason we were doing the confirmation on there was because we've come close to it in the past and we were in a bigger picture upward trend. I'm going to actually look to here as a potential upside breakout above there if the markets tend to give me a move above there. Keep an eye on there for a breakout above there. I wouldn't worry about those supplies stopping it in there. So, but there's just nothing much in currencies. I mean, this is all rubbish, crap, garbage, as they say up in the Boston area. The garbage zone. All right. So let me post this one. All right. So those are all up. Let's see. Interesting on how many of the 20 markets covered the traders actively trade. Question partly prompted by yours truly spreading himself too thin yesterday and missing some of the gems. You know what? That's a great point. I think that I cover these markets because people ask me to cover these markets. Do I trade every one of these markets every single day? Absolutely not. And so you need to trade the ones that fit you the most. I will say that the ones that my main four are the ES, the NQ, the CL, and the GC. Those are my main four. That's it. Those are the four to me. Like if I were to have the four horsemen of the trade apocalypse, it would be the S&P, the NASDAQ, crude oil, and gold. Those are my four horsemen. Those are the bellwethers. Matter of fact, for those of you that have been watching the daily market commentary for a long time, when I first got started, I only looked at those four. When I first got started, those were the only four markets I looked at every day. And then we started adding additional markets as people requested them. Now to the point where I'm looking at probably more markets than I should be, especially for a 30-minute session. And so we're talking about how we're going to review and change a little bit of the daily market commentary going into the new year between myself and Corey and Justin. How can we change it and make it a little bit more streamlined? But we're not sure. We have not come up to any decisions as of yet. But we might wind up doing more live trade rooms on the website a little bit more because 20 markets it's just too much to cover in 30 minutes, and I don't think that we get as much depth as I'd like to get into in sometimes. So, but I went off on a tangent there a little bit. So first of all, last of all, hope you guys had a good session today, and we're able to catch some of the trades yesterday. Yesterday we had a couple of good trades that were pretty good runners. We had a couple that were some small stop outs. But if you have any questions or anything I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out, send me a message, shoot me smoke signal, whatever it is that you need. I genuinely, honestly believe this. I am, as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday, I truly am thankful for having a platform to be able to talk about what I freaking love to talk about. I genuinely consider you guys part of my extended family and friends circle. I don't see your faces every day. But those of you that are here every day, that are listening, that type in the chat box, and And you know that I know that you're there. I wake up every day, and I know for some of you this may sound odd, but before I go online every single day, I say a prayer asking for the words of wisdom in order to help to change just one person's life and to help one person to get what we talk about every day. And I really, really believe that. I genuinely, I ask, come Holy Spirit, and help me to get you where you want to go. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for joining us every day. I know it's not easy to get up and trade these markets every single day, and I'm glad that you guys do and you choose to do it with us. So hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you on Sunday night in the live trade room. Those of you guys that are Traders Army members, I'll talk to you Monday morning if you're not in the DMC, but just go to Traders Army, use the Black Friday promo code. It'd be great to have you in the Sunday night room. So you guys are amazing. Thanks, everybody.